So now I'm going to go back to my presentation, and I'll be now looking at how we can use AI for reading. So here what we're going to do is we're going to look at Google Translate, but we're going to look at a feature which maybe a lot of you don't know about, which is the fact that you can make personalized phrase books within Google Translate. So to do that, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to put in the following, which is write 5 sentences in A1 level Spanish describing opinions about sport and leisure activities. So I'm going to send that in right now. It's now going to, oh, okay, sometimes it does this. It gives you 2 responses and you can choose your favorite one. So I'm going to choose this one. So I'm going to copy that like that. But I don't need to copy the whole thing. I'm going to do it sentence by sentence. So I'm going to copy that. I'm now going to go into Google Translate, which is here, and I'm going to paste in the sentence. And as you can see now, I've got my English translation. So I've got my Spanish and my English. So let's imagine you wanted to say something, you could, but you didn't know how to say it in English. You could write that in Spanish, and then you see the English, which allows you to read the English translation and familiarize yourself with the new vocabulary, etc., the grammar that you're learning. Now, the key here, as you can see here, it says build your own phrase book, and how you do that is the following. You can click on the little star option there, which means it appears here, and the reason that's appeared there is because you've clicked on this little option here. Can you see the saved option? So you click on here to add it to the saved area. You then click here, and then it's now appeared here, and you can listen back to the pronunciation like this.
I like football because it's fun.
Okay, and then we could do another one. We could do, say, another sentence like this. Okay, so I've just copied that. I then go back to Google Translate, and we get rid of this one, and then we paste in the translation. So as you can see, you can do this on any Google account. You do need to have a Google account for this, but you could sign in on any device, and it would allow you to create your own personalized phrase book like this. So now I've added this one. I'll do one more like this. Okay, copy, get rid of that. And I just think this is a fantastic way of encouraging independence. We can also listen back to the audio like this again, another way of doing this.
I love reading books because it is relaxing.
Okay, the model of pronunciation is pretty good. I think it's certainly workable. Okay, and then if you wanted to add your voice to this, what you could do is you could say, me gusta jugar al fútbol. Okay, and then you would then get, I like to play football. Okay, and then you click here so you can practice your speaking as well. And there we are. Now, the next killer feature, I think, is you click on the little icon here, which is to export to Google Sheets. Okay, so there we are. That's what it looks like. You then click on import the data like that. That will then generate a Google Sheet like this. There it is. And then what we can do is we can click on the D column like this. I could right click this and like this. Let's do that again and click copy. And then there's various tools which allow you to do text to speech, but the one I'm going to show you right now is in Padlet, which is completely free to use. You can only have 3 Padlets for free, but what I'm going to show you right now will work completely for free. Okay, so all you do now is you go to blank board like this. And then that should generate, there we are. It's now making my Padlet for me. That took a little bit of time. The beauty of doing these things live. So it's going to make a Padlet for me, and then once it's made that Padlet, I can obviously do things like change the background, etc. But that doesn't actually matter particularly. I could just leave it as it is. But what I'm going to do now is double click on the screen, and then I don't even have to give it a title. I just need to click on the +13 option and go to where it says AI speech like this. I'm now going to paste in the text like that. And I've used too many characters, that's the problem. Okay, so let's go back to here. And what I'm going to do is, let's just make that a bit bigger. There we are. Let's copy just these 3 lines. Okay, so if I copy that, go back to my Padlet, there we are. And then I'm going to paste in, there we are. So I've got my, let's say 3 lines. And I still, hang on, that's interesting. Let me just do this again, because it's saying I've used too many characters, which doesn't seem to be correct. So let me just try that again. Yeah, that's fine. So as you can see there, I've used 123 characters out of a possible 1,000. So you can essentially fill the whole box if you want to. It's automatically recognized the language. As you can see there, it's got English UK. We could go down and find all the other languages here. Let's go for English UK. So it decided on English US, but I'm going to choose English UK. You then click next. It's now going to generate the audio for me, and it sounds like this.
I love reading books because it is relaxing. I don't like to swim because it's difficult. I like football because it's fun.
There we are. Now, if you want to go to a slower speed, you click on the 3 dots, you click playback speed, and you go for, say, 0.75, and listen again.
I love reading books because it is relaxing. I don't like to...
etc. And then once you're happy with that, you click save, then you click publish. And having done that, if you press play again here, so it says that, but actually, let's just try again. There we are.
I love reading books because it is
so that's fine. But now, can you see you've got the little download icon? So I can click download.
I love reading books because it is relaxing. I don't like to swim because it's difficult. I like football because it's fun.
And I can now download that audio file as I just did just then. So there we are. That's how you can use Google Translate to create your own personalized phrasebook, and how you can then generate a audio version of those phrases that you've chosen individually as a student, as a way of helping you with your reading, your listening, and your speaking. And what a great way of using AI, I think, for promoting autonomy in our students, which is just great. So that was Google Translate and creating your own personalized phrasebooks. Okay, there are other TTS engines out there, text-to-speech engines such as TTS MP3. There's one called 11 Labs as well, etc. But I particularly like the Padlet option, and it's completely free to use. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at Brisk Boost Tutor for instant feedback. So with that in mind, I'm going to go to this tab like this, and this is my activity, and I've got Brisk installed here. If you haven't seen Brisk before, then I will very quickly show you what that looks like. So it's called Brisk Teaching, and you just need to install it. You need to have a Google account to install it, and once you've done that, you give permission for it to access your Google Drive, then you're good to go. It is GDPR compliant as well, which is great. So this is the activity which I have set up, and because I've got Brisk Teaching installed, that's why this little icon is here. So what I'm going to do now is click here, and then I'm going to click Boost Student Activity like this. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the Engage option and choose Tutor. And so from here, as you can see, it says create a tutoring activity about this document. Okay, I could put in more detail about this, but that's fine for now. And I click Next like that, and then I will then choose Brisket. I'm just going to go with the recommended option, which is to create a view-only access to this document from the student point of view. So I now click Brisket like this, and so that should now come up. There we are, and it's now preparing my activity. And essentially what this is doing is it's allowing me to give students access to an individual chatbot to help them with their writing, which is just brilliant. So let me demonstrate how this works. So I would give the link to the students via, say, Google Classroom. I could create my own classes if I wanted to as well, but for now I'm just going to click on Preview and Edit like that, and then you click Let's Go here. Okay, so as you can see, that's the task, and then here's the chatbots giving me a welcome message. I can click here, and I can see what it is that I want the students to do, and then from there, what I can do is I can then start writing. So I could then say, what part of your morning routine do you want? So I'm going to then say, I wake up at 7 a.m. But I want to use an adverb, so I'm going to say first, because that's what I've been asked to do, and then send that in, and then see what Brisk says. So each student would have their own chatbot, and they could interact with you. So you choose the assignment, and then each student can independently get support from the chatbot. Okay, And as I said, this is GDPR compliant. Okay, so right, so after I've woken up, I could then say, then I go to the bathroom, have a shower, and get dressed. Okay, I could then send that in. See what it says. There we are. So it's being very positive at the moment. What do you do after you get dressed? So I could then say next. I go downstairs and have my breakfast in the kitchen. Okay, you can use the microphone as well if you want to dictate this, but obviously we're looking at writing right now. And I find you can only do one sentence at a time that way as well. So what do you do after you've had your breakfast? And then I can then say, finally, I comb my hair and go to school around 8 a.m. and then send that in. Okay, so now it's going to give me some further feedback. There we are. That's great. Now it's asking me to put it all together. Can you see that's now gone across there because I've completed some of the activities and incorporate at least 3 sequencing words, e.g. first, then after that, initially, etc. So now what I can do is I can write the whole thing out very quickly. So I could say, for example, first I wake up at 7 a.m. Then I go to the bathroom, have a shower, and get dressed. Next, I go downstairs and have breakfast in the kitchen. Finally, I comb my hair and go to school around 8 a.m. Okay, so hopefully that's allowed me to fulfill the objectives, and that's probably around 50 words. Good effort, you've got a nice structure, but let's check the word count. Can you count the words in this paragraph? Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. Okay, so maybe I'm not quite there with 50, so I could obviously add to this, and then the learning objectives meter would then go right to the end. So hopefully that's giving you an indication of how this works. And once you've previewed this, you just click share with students like this, and then that will generate the link that you can use to share. There we are, the QR code and the link that you share with the students, and then they can all get individual support on their writing. So I think that's really, really exciting.